My name is El Marquis, musician, rapper, record producer, Understand Crest follower.
And I'm Frank, the host, and I got something to say. And when I say it, you better listen up. Hey, this topic right now is very important. Everyone who's a creator, who is a creative and you create things, or just anyone who's listening to this thing, you need to learn how to study the greats. There are a lot of great people out here in history, people who are dead, but then people who are alive and have done a lot of great things. And a lot of times what we can do is we can actually learn from them, adapt and change things to fit your life, and you can succeed too. You can find a lot of inspiration from these people, because if they did it, what makes anything, makes a difference between you and them? Nothing. You can do it. And so I want to just encourage you guys in this video to go study the greats. I've read a lot of books. I think that the books that we read, the videos that we see, we should take time out to self-educate. T.I. said this the other day. He said, go and self-educate yourself. You need to find out some things. You need to go study your craft and get better at it. And you got to go do it. You just can't sit here and just dream, because most people dream and sometimes they don't go do it.
Right.
So just like this right now, I knew that I wanted to do this. So I studied people who did it. E.T., the hip hop preacher, shouts out to you, my main man. And a lot of great people like that, they do stuff like this. And I'm like, well, what's the difference between them and me? Nothing, but I study them, I get inspired by them, and then I say, you know what, I'm going to do it. And sometimes what we do, as we study these people, what you find out is that they start out this way. They started out, and sometimes what we do, we want to go get the best cameras, the best equipment. Hey, I learned this, in church back in the day. Real talk, it said despise not small beginnings, and that's a big deal, because you got to start somewhere, and you might have to start small, and later on, you'll be able to get the big things and do the big things. But you start out very small first, knocking it out, and then you get to the, to the things you desire to do. But you first start studying the greats, and there's a lot of greats out there you can study. And so I want to encourage you guys, whoever you feel like is great, go study them. If you like somebody that gets on stage, I have an artist friend over here, his name is Brian, shout out to Brian, but he loves John Bellion, so therefore he studies John Bellion and different people on stage, because they have a great stage presence. And so study stage presence. If you like to communicate or whatever it is, and makeup, whatever it is, go out there and study those people who are doing it and succeeding, and start hacking away and make it yours.
There are tons of different resources that you can use to study the greats as well. YouTube is the greatest resource of all in terms of education, because
It's true.
If you want to study your favorite artist, there are tons of, assuming that they're bigger artists, there are tons of interviews of them out there. All their music is available on YouTube as well as Spotify. When you listen to your favorite artist's music, intently listen to it. Have very few distractions as possible, and just intently listen to it. Listen to why they say the certain things that they say, or how they say it, how they play their instruments. If you're a musician, here's the really good, cool thing about YouTube. If your favorite band is decently popular, they probably have tutorials out there, not necessarily of them, but of other people playing their songs and teaching you how to play them. That's actually how I learned how to play guitar. I couldn't afford lessons when I first wanted to learn how to play guitar, so I found my favorite bands and looked up the tutorials on YouTube on how to play their songs, and that developed my early skills as a guitarist. And when I started transitioning into adding rapping into my skills, I studied my favorite rappers and figured out what they were doing with their techniques and how they used them and why I liked them. For a really good example is that a lot of my early music, technique-wise, was inspired by Eminem and Tech 9, and I studied how they put their rhymes together, how they made their flow patterns the way that they made them. That developed my early skills as an artist, and that's not necessarily saying that a lot of my older music necessarily sounds like them or is on the same level, but I studied them. That helped me develop my technique early on, and now that I have even more influences under my belt, and that I've lived life more, and then now that I've studied even more people who I consider great, I'm able to take all those influences, put them in a melting pot, and then just create El Marquis. And that's the exact same thing that you can do as an artist, as a producer, video maker, anything. Like, study people who you deem as great, study people you deem as inspirations, really get deep into what they do, how they do it, why people like it, and that's a perfect opportunity for you to learn and grow your skills.
That is true. So I want to encourage you, go pick up some books.
Read a book.
They got a new book that I saw you had the other day on your page. What was it, about Jay-Z?
Yeah, I'm currently reading a book about G.O.A.T.S. It's not like a biography, but it's talking about business moves that he made, why he's considered great, why his lyrics connect a certain way to people. I'm about halfway through the book right now, and that's something I'm really want to get into a lot more. Reading. I didn't get into a lot in the past because I was always reading stuff for high school, college, and I studied in that time. I really did, but I didn't want to make time then. But now I don't have an excuse. I'm out of school right now. I'm just focusing on building my business, and now is the perfect time to continue my education in a non-formal way, reading books and taking courses online.
That's good. And you know, there's a lot of stuff out there. Again, you can find. I went to McKay's bookstore. It's a local bookstore here in the DMV, and I was like, you know, I wanted to buy these books, and so I went there and look, the books online or from Barnes and Noble. Shout out to everybody that I just said to, but like $40. I went to the used bookstore for $3. So you can find these books. You gotta go get it, and there's so much information that you guys can take and educate yourself so you guys can all be great. You're already great, but add more greatness to your life. I want to see you succeed. If no one's told you, we want to tell you, love you. Peace.